Hey, this is Crafty and this is
Dave.
And we are going to be doing a Crafty music tips conversation. How fun! What a great way of doing an encore. Welcome to the encore for the Streaming Not Screaming episode 7. Can you believe that? 7 episodes?
7 weeks. It's good to see that there's been some easing of restrictions and stuff, but I think we're still going to have to do these shows for quite some time, Crafty.
Yeah, well,
You have to keep coming up with new stuff.
yeah, this is what a great segue, because we're going to do a new type of encore today, which just, something different. This is a music tips channel where, for myself as like a music tutor, I like to chuck up music tips to give value to a bunch of my students and anybody else that's a bit of a muso and wanting to learn. That's what I do. So that's what we're here to do. We're going to talk about a bunch of music things, and also Dave will probably pop in a few.
I don't know any music things.
Yeah.
I don't know other stuff.
He'll do some other stuff. So if you were going to say where you started with music, just as general as that, how would have it started for you?
It starts in the home. I just always remember there was music at home at my joint. The olds would play records. Dad's favourite was Nana Muscuri.
Really?
Probably still is, I would imagine.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
She had some fairly touching songs. Mum loved Anne Murray, especially Neil Diamond. I remember Mum ordered the concert in Central Park, the Simon and Garfunkel one, which was
my dad loved that as well.
A brilliant album. And my sisters and brothers all loved music. And then at school I was singing in the choir and know all the hymns and stuff. So yes, I just love it. It's been around since I can remember. I remember singing "I'll Be Your Long-Haired Lover" from Liverpool when I was about 4 years or 5 years old, and that was a Jamie Redfern had sung it, I think, or something.
How does that go, Dave?
I only know a bit. I'll be your long-haired lover from Liverpool, and I'll do anything you want.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, something like that. But I think it was not Donny Osmond. What's the little, like, mongy-looking one?
Robbie.
Ricky
Fred.
Osmond. There's the littlest one.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a long time. Music always been around it.
Yeah. And so then, I guess, to transition from just a guy that liked it as like a hobby and stuff, can you think of that moment where you went from, okay, I'm just a guy that likes it, to where I really want to be serious about it?
Oh, well, I sang at Mass one time. I remember the Mass that I sang at, and I remember Warmo came and asked me if I wanted to come and sing in his band, and it was him and Frank, another guy, and they were looking for a bass player as well. And so before that, I sang it, as I say, at Mass, and sang it at church groups and things like that, and yeah, kind of never entertained the thought of being in a band or anything like that. That wasn't what I was looking to do. And then, yeah, once that happened, it's like a drug. Well, there's parts of it that weren't like a drug.
Yes.
They were actually drugs.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's a whole story for a higher chair, that one. But yeah, well, and then we just kind of kept progressing and getting better, and the crowds kept getting bigger, and then Grant started writing songs, and Paulie was writing songs, and just took off from there. So it's never like a conscious thing, this is what I'm going to do. It was just, this is what I do.
And what did you want to do before?
A bunch of stuff. I wanted to play football for St George till I was about 11 or 12, and I sustained a career-ending neck injury.
Oh.
And then I became a referee, but I never wanted to be Bill Harrigan, I'll tell you that. That's not my cup of tea. But yeah, copper. I wanted to be a copper. Probably that was the main thing. I think I was going to follow my brother in and be a police person. But then I just everything fell away. My mum made me enrol I enrolled at college one year for something to do, just to get her off my back.
Yeah,
so,
right.
Look, I'm ready. So I enrolled, and then I deferred. And that was my only crack at doing anything else.
Right. And what was that course?
Some dodgy thing. An associate diploma in social welfare.
Oh, okay.
You can probably get them on a Kellogg's box nowadays.
Right.
But no, obviously that's a very important thing. My mum had done one, so I'd signed up for that course to appease her.
Yeah. Yeah, Mum, I'll do that. Yeah.
Good. When are you going to do it? Well, I've deferred it. I went to the bar actually when I signed up for the course. I went to the bar and had a great time there. That might be fun. But yeah, that's a long time ago.
Right. And then so when the music thing started to happen, how were they?
I think they, like anyone, they were just kind of. It wasn't like they was going, "Oh, you must get a job" or whatever. It was, you know, we were proud of the fact that we were making money and we kind of living away from home. And well, there was one time I had to move back home, but yeah, there was they kind of it just we moved out. You know, we moved out of home and we weren't hitting them up for money all the time and stuff like that. So it wasn't like we were, you know, a drain on them. So once you move out of home, you.
And you had at least one or two other brothers and sisters that they were looking after as well.
Yeah. So I had still had. There must have been 5 still at home. 4 still at home when I left home. Angela, Helen, Lee, and Timmy. So back then you couldn't wait to grow up and leave home.
Right.
I just thought, fuck, I can't wait till I'm 18. I'm gone.
Yeah.
And that's the way it was. I think all of us, my older brothers and sisters were all out by 18.
Yeah, right. So I guess for the normal person that's going to be looking at the videos from this channel, they're looking for music tips, music just guidance, and so I know that every time I hang out with you, we're not necessarily always talking about it, but you'll just bring up something. It'll be
should have seen what I did.
Yeah, or
no,
or just, you know, I remember you will say like, oh yeah, this one time, you know, like a song will just come on. It'll be an In Excess song, and we'll just be at the pub, and In Excess comes on, and then all of a sudden I was on stage with In Excess at which one was that one?
The Rock Am Ring in Germany.
So only a handful of people there.
There's 60,000 of us and their closest friends.
Yeah, and then just other times when we're just chatting, and then all of a sudden a Spinal Tap quote will happen.
Spinal Tap played a huge part in our touring. We did some great touring. We did some very successful touring, but we also did some pretty terrible touring. One of the tours we were on, the headline act fell through after the first 3 or 4 dates. We tried to continue on playing all those dates that they'd blown out, but you know, we played to a couple of joints. One joint I remember, I think it was in Milwaukee. At the end of the gig, we just invited everyone in the crowd out to the back, and we all just got on the bus, and there was like dead set. There was 10 people there in this huge cavernous joint.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we kind of knocked it on the head from
there. Yeah. So that's, I guess. So
and that's where Spinal Tap came in.
Right,
so
of course.
That's why we thought that, you know, kick my ass, kick this man's ass for $1. And,
I'm not asking, I'm telling.
And where does he say it's not a big college town? Philly or something like that?
Boston.
Boston's not a big college town.
Yeah.
We heard all that stuff. So it's kind of kept us sane watching Spinal Tap.
Yeah. And so I guess what I was leading to is the fact that, you know, you've been there and done that. You say that, I don't know the music stuff, except, you know, you've been out there living and breathing and doing it at, like, you know, better than and more prolific than anybody that I know personally. So I guess what is, like, just a few things that you could rattle off that are going to be helpful for people either starting out or if they're thinking that they're at the touring stage, you know, things like that.
Yeah, well, it's all different now, obviously. When we toured overseas, the 2 big times we went over, we had full record company tour support, which is, you know, tens of thousands of dollars. and we had a long-term record contract, and touring around Australia. We'd been doing that we'd started off very well, very lucky. We were very lucky in getting noticed by people who wanted to put us on tour. The Angels put us on tour, Choir Boys put us on tour, the Divinals put us on tour. So that was obviously showed to us that we were kind of, I remember seeing Noiseworks used to tour with all the big bands, and I thought, I saw them when they got big, and so there was kind of like a bit of a pecking order you could go up, and as you escalated up the order, I mean, that all came down to pulling crowds. If you can pull people, and pulling crowds comes down to how good your show is, and our show always relied on great musicianship, and just full energy, full tilt. So you kind of always got to stick true to the things that you love doing, and that's probably the main point. Is I always say the harder you work, the better you get, right? Or the more you do it, the better you get. But it's not hard work. It's great fun. You get in a room and you yell and scream, or you play your guitar, or you bang your drums, and as time passes, you get better and better, and then people start to notice you, and you can take it out of the garage and then into the clubs and pubs, and so that's that. So the hard work is you got to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it to get better at it.
Staying power.
But it's good fun. So that's what we were lucky that we had heaps and heaps of gigs to play at all the time. When we just played and played all through from about 86 till probably 2001. I was just constantly doing gigs. There was a couple of times we had some time off, people got married and stuff like that, but we were just constantly just playing and playing and playing. So
I guess that big underlying general thing is you just got to stay at it, stick in the game. And that's that's I don't think that the Jets have achieved what we want to achieve yet. As far as the Angels are concerned, obviously John and Rick are in control of that, but I think the Angels could achieve bigger things as well as time. You just don't know. And if you're not, I say that meaning that if you stop doing it and you're sitting around and going, oh well, basking in past glories, then it won't happen. But if you're out there on the road and you're still playing, you're still performing, you're still recording, and even though you're not getting as much love from record companies and radio stations, if you just keep doing it because you love doing it and you think you're getting better at it, then it's you never know. You just never know what could happen. You could fluke a fucking Grammy. Yeah.
That'd be a good thing to fluke. The bloke from Wolf Mother.
I love that.
How do you get a Grammy?
Yeah.
What?
What?
Do what? A Grammy? Anyway.
Yeah. Beautiful. But yeah, I was. You just reminded me of. We were chatting about this a week or two ago. How Chad Smith, the Red Hot Chili Peppers drummer, that someone asked him, like, how is it that you just can keep being so, I guess, physically, like, penetrating those drums all the time, without, getting an injury or whatever. And he just says, use it or lose it.
Well, not physically penetrating them.
Well,
obviously not.
not in the way that you might be meaning. Yeah. Not. I mean, look, we don't literally mean it, but we're not racist.
That's what I worry about with not performing. If you just match fitness is going to take time, and so all the bands, when we all come back, we're all going to have to be, spend a bit of time, I reckon, before we get on the road and getting ourselves back up to some form of fitness so that we can get on stage and put on a show. So, yeah, which, and as I say, as you say, if you're playing all the time, then you've got that fitness up. That's what you do. But anyway.
Yeah, so what would, like, when you're on tour, what's, like, a usual, I guess, a day in the life, or maybe, like, a week in the life for Dave Gleeson on tour?
I usually get home a Sunday or Monday, and that's the start of the week. So that's all normal. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If the 8-ball competition's on, I play 8-ball on Wednesday night. And then usually Friday we go on tour, fly out of here to wherever we're going, jump into Tarago or whatever they are now, drive to whatever gig we're doing, stay overnight, do another gig the next day, fly home on the Sunday. So, and you know, a day in the life when you're on tour is well, as I say, the first day is usually Friday, so you fly in on that day, so you get there, have something to eat, whatever, do a sound check, or check in, do a sound check, and then do the gig, go back to the hotel, have a few beers, crash out, wake up at the crack of noon the next day, and
do it all again,
and then so it depends whether you do Friday, Saturday, Sunday shows, which is what we were doing just before this all blew up. But yeah, so you finish on the Sunday night, and a couple of times we flew straight out on the Sunday. We're doing an early Sunday show. But yeah, you come back home, be normal, get the kids off to school, make lunches, do the vacuuming, do the washing, hang it out,
rock and roll right here.
Do the cooking.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's these days. And before you said, "Oh, this has changed," and I guess we'll talk about that for like what it's like for a new band or a new artist. But for you, that's you now. What about, say, before the kids came along? What was life like as a touring muso? I'm assuming that everyone says that when kids come along, I'm not a dad yet, but when they come along, the sort of life goes upside down.
When Bella came along, we were kind of the jets were off the road. Oh no, hang on. Maybe the jets had just got back on the road when Bella came along. 2004. So we were doing a bit of touring at that stage. I can't. It's hazy. Yeah, I got a hazy memory. But obviously, that will change when the kids come along, because you can't be sitting around doped out up on the lounge or and crashed out with bottles around you on the floor. Not allowed to wee in the cupboards anymore.
But you used to be allowed to.
Well, not really allowed to. Certainly not allowed to. But I've heard of people doing it.
Yeah, nice. I remember you were we were packing up one of the live streams, and you were doing a phone interview, and you were saying about the Ugly Kid Joe guy. He must have been allowed to. He
was allowed to do whatever he liked, though. Whitfield Crane.
Yeah.
An absolute classic of a man. He was liable to wee at the drop of a hat. Because you know you know how to get a horse to wee, don't you?
No.
You whistle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Start weeing.
Yeah, right.
I think it's an old jockey's trick from the from the tracks.
Right.
Hey, correct me if I'm wrong.
Any jockeys out there?
Jockey.
Hey, so with so that's how life's different as a touring muso. What about for yourself? What about for like the up and comers? You know, for you were saying that, well, it was very different back then. I guess these days now, when you're like you'd see a bunch of up and coming musos. They're either the support or they're just people either around the area or whatever. Like, what's the thing that they can do apart from that advice of just you got to stick at it thing that you were saying before?
Well, I can only talk as far as a rock band is concerned, and I think rock bands have to be young up and coming rock bands have to be really resilient about the fact that we don't have the market to sustain genres of radio and
this
stuff.
This is in Australia.
Yeah. So in America you have a country market, you have an alt country market and an adult country, and then you got adult contemporary. So you got all these things, and rock is a genre over there. You have rock radio stations, and that's not to say that Triple M aren't a rock radio station, but there's 300 million people over there, and they have rock stations all over the country that cater specifically to rock fans, hard rock fans, alt rock fans. So that, you know,
right?
It's just
because there's so much more population.
So much more population. Yeah. So over here it's like a scattergun. I mean, joke songs can end up on the top of the charts, and you're trying to compete with a song that you've written about, I don't know, who knows what. People write songs about all different things. They write them about heartache and heartbreak and love and monkeys. And you know, so in Australia, well, you know, it's become a very different beast. Anything can happen. It's a very, you have to be in the right place at the right time, man. It's hard. It's a hard industry. Here's the thing. There's really, if there was a book, or if there was a way to do it that you could, that was a formula that you could use, Stock Aitken and Waterman would still have hits all over the world, right? And
every intro would still be.
They would still be the, you know, and they were massive. They sold millions and millions of records, and even they, as formulaic as they were, didn't have the formula to keep on doing it. And you know, there's just so much traffic out there. There's so much stuff. Man.
Yeah, because it evolves.
There's 10 billion shows on Netflix. There's 400 billion fucking video games. There's, you know, there's 35,000 genres of music. There's, you know, and now it's going to be much harder with venues where live music thrived and grew.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to cope with coming out of this COVID thing, unless we come up with a vaccine very soon. But yeah, it's going to be a different landscape, and I feel very lucky that we're in a position where we'll be able to hit the ground running and get straight back out there and play gigs and stuff like that. Better look out for the puku. Hey, Gleeson, look out for the puku, hey.
The good thing is that, you know, that there's, no matter where you go in the world, there's people that do really love music, and they love the connection to live music. So
yeah, well, that's right. It's just a matter of how humanity's going to be able to get together and celebrate that. It's going to be funny doing a mosh pit with people standing 2 metres apart. People are going to get hurt.
Yeah, hurt feelings. Yeah, yeah. So you said before, it's like right place at the right time and stuff. For you, can you think of one or a few instances where you thought, wow, like I was really lucky that I was here, and that this then happened, and then there was a chain reaction that happened afterwards?
Yeah, well, I mean, even early on, we were doing lots of gigs around Newcastle, and my brothers at different times had both been best mates with this guy they went to school with. And he was in town, and he was working for, I think at the time he just started working for APRA. And we did a gig at the Matara Hotel, I think it was, up in Charlestown. And Tomo was there, and Tomo saw us, and he told me, we had a chat after that and a few jugs of beer, and he said he was working for APRA, and then he kind of, between him having a bit of knowledge and us having a bit of a rep and having that connection between me brothers and that, we kind of, he became our first manager and moved us into the big bad world of the rock and roll industry.
Yeah, right. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I find that like,
and he was a novice at it as well. He kind of
right, but he was willing to give it a crack.
He wasn't some crusty old manager.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. So, do you find that, like, I guess, if you're a young artist, if you're an up and comer, that perhaps someone could be out there that just an anybody that doesn't necessarily have that much managing experience could be the one?
Yes, well, Brad Hooney, our first drummer, he always said that the Police did their most important gig to 8 people, I think it was.
Yeah.
And one of those people was
Heard of this story, yeah.
old mate's brother.
Mm.
What's the drummer's name?
Stuart Copeland.
Flashy Copeland. Copeland, yes, his brother was a manager, and he took over managing the band, and that was... So thanks, Brad Heaney, for that wisdom. Yeah, you just never know, and that's why you always got to play. You play as good as you can, and that's why you don't want to be getting out in front of people before your time, before you're due, before you've done enough time rehearsing, and you know that's a fine line too, because you don't want to just spend all your time rehearsing. But on the other hand, you want to have something out there that you can take out, and that people go, oh wow, that's a bit special.
Oh, that's a bit special. So it's interesting that you're saying that about just the music professionalism and whatever, because I think as a person that you never know that if you meet someone, whoever they are, you never know that they could actually be the guy or the girl to be able to be the one to give you a bit of a leg up,
or the other way around, which has been
right.
It's been our...
Oh God, it's all so confusing now.
A bit of a smack down the other way. You don't know who you're rubbing up the wrong way, and then you find out that you've pissed off the wrong person.
Right. Oh well, that's a bugger, because what I was leading to was that because when we met, I remember just thinking, could this guy actually just be the honest, down to earth, good bloke that he is? I just thought, wait, there's got to be some other side to him. But if you ever have a chance to meet Dave Gleeson, you'll know that like he's just...
Should we do this
the
now?
dude.
Or?
You could... No. Well, it's serious, because you know the rock star image is one of that of like, look, my food platter is just not. I can't deal with this. It's going to affect my performance.
Having some problems with the backstage arrangement.
Yeah, but yeah. So like your motto is, I'm just going to be genuine to, you know, whether that was your motto or not. I'm not sure.
I don't know about my motto, but look, I've always hated wankers. One of the biggest things, one of the worst things you can be called, obviously, is a rock star in the wrong context. But yeah, I mean, everyone's been a wanker in their time, but I hate wankers. Hate people wobbling on. Are we wobbling on now? Maybe we're wobbling on.
I don't know.
But yeah, I think everyone's we have got an excellent job that puts us in the public eye, and people really connect with music. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
I mean, music's just one of those things, and hopefully out of this whole bunch of shit, some great music will come.